Hello everyone. GM. Starting with our first session today, getting started with vibe coding in our ApeChain camp. Thank you all that are participating with us and joining today to get started in the first session. We are going to have 8, maybe 9 great sessions over the next 4 weeks or so to guide you from total beginner, from idea to deploy maybe to the moon in just 1 month over this and next month of sessions, so that in the end you can get your final MVP, your prototype slash MVP out, even if you don't know how to code, or if you know how to code with even more speed, right? So thank you all for joining us today. I'm going to get started because we have a lot of things to cover. Start sharing my screen. And today we're going to go over, let me show the page, right? Today we're going to go over the first sessions. You should be subscribed for this bootcamp, for this Luma page. If you're watching this video, if somehow you found this video out there, you should go for this Luma page for register. I guess the registration are closed already, but this is the official place where we're going to keep all the communications going and all the information. So you should find all of the schedules of sessions, starting with the getting started with vibe coding today, and all of these as we are going to go over the next weeks. Each of those sessions, we're going to have about 2 sessions per day, and I'm using this Luma page as well. I'm using this as communication for you to get all of the material. So make sure to check your mailbox or come here to the Luma page for you to find the link for today's presentation and the tools that we're going to use. It's important for you to follow along, okay? This is not going to be this kind of like chill video that you can just watch from YouTube and consume all the information. Actually, you need to engage. You need to put yourself to code. You need to put yourself to interact with it. So this is the place where I'm going to put all of the information. Let me see if it's visible here. Yeah, it should be. And this should guide you with everything that you're going to need for today. Okay, the 2 sessions of this week are focused for ideation, getting your idea out of paper in a clear, concise, and well-expressed way. This is going to be our topmost goal. Okay, and if you want to go to, like, if you are a developer and you're eager to start with the coding part, of course you can. I'm going to show you those tools for today. But if you want to focus for this week, the objective until the weekend is for you to have your idea validated and well expressed in a landing page. This should be your focus. This presentation should go from beginner to everything that you need. Okay. So let's get this started. Vibe coding with ApeChain. Let me just make sure that the screen is visible. Let me see. Okay, that this should work well. Okay. Yeah, working well. And any issues, please let me know. I'm watching the stream here in the chat. I have a lot of GMs here coming. That's nice to see. Have a lot of friends here tagging along. A lot of good apes tagging along. That's nice to see all of you there. So any issues, please let me know. If the mic's not working or anything, I'll be looking at this chat often, and you can also ask questions. I'm going to pick them up. And we're going to get started with vibe coding with ApeChain, which is normal vibe coding, normal coding with generative AI, but focused for you to build on-chain enable applications, dApps, smart contracts, and all down the line. The technology itself doesn't matter that much in the beginning because we're going to focus on ideation for this week. Yes, but over the course of this camp, we're going to go over this today as well. You're going to have all of the necessary tools for you to build your project. And if you want to start building already, there's nothing stopping you. Just let's make sure that the idea is well validated first. So, first of all, a vibe check. What do you understand about vibe coding? Maybe this is the first time that you're hearing about this term. Sometimes I go about vibe coding and it drops off people like Python coding or JavaScript coding and all. If you're non-technical and if you're hearing this vibe coding, you might imagine that I'm speaking about a software, specific software or a software coding language or something like that. Actually, no, vibe coding is a terminology that we are using. Some people love it, some people hate it, but we are using this terminology in a broader manner to express the idea of creating software, creating code based applications, or even scripts or something like that, without actually knowing how to code. Or even if you know how to code, without actually writing all of the lines of code. Okay, that's the idea. Oh, we have a special guest here. I'll like just join the stream. Nice. So, hello, bro. How's it going? Nice to have you here.
GMs.
Yeah,
Sorry, technical issues.
no worries. What do you understand by vibe coding, brother?
I think I like the idea of vibe coding is it's intent based, that you focus on the outcomes rather than the techniques or the technology or the programming language. You can just focus on the end result, and then you can put it into as clear words as possible, and then that becomes your objective.
Wonderful.
That,
This is a great one phrase, one big phrase, but it represents everything that is vibe coding, right? There is a lot of fight against the terminology of vibe coding. When we speak that is going to replace developers. This is totally not what we're going to do here, okay, people? I'm a technical teacher. Alex is a technical developer for ApeChain. We are pro embracing developers, but in a way that you don't need to wait for 2 years or for 6 months before you can take your ideas out of paper. Okay, I'm going to explain about that later. So the objective is to enable people to build and not to replace builders, please. This is the key objective here, right? At least for this decade, or maybe 5 years, give or take, right? Good, good. So what do you understand by vibe coding? That's your homework now. Tell me, maybe you want to type here in the chat, maybe you want to engage. Tell me what you understand by vibe code, because we're going to do a vibe check after to make sure that we are in the same page. Okay. Anything to add, Alok, before any special words before we dive into it?
no, I think we just like dive into it. Yeah, just like quickly.
Yeah,
Uh,
we're good. We're good. Don't worry.
we're good. Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to give it this space. So, getting into it, we are going to introduce you to vibe coding. Let me just organize my screens here. Alok, feel free to ping me to add you the stage whenever you want. Okay. I'm going to be interfacing uh, with people. A lot of people still saying GM out there. So if I make a question for all of you there watching, if you want to answer, maybe interface here with Alok as well might work very well. So for the next steps, I'm going to be showing things that I expect you to replicate out there in your machine. If you have any troubles as well, please free to interrupt me. But let's do a vibe check here. What is vibe coding? If you are hearing about this the first time, or if you want to get a better understanding about this concept, I'm going to use this tool called v0.app just as an example. Okay, you might have used a ChatGPT before, right? At least this one. I guess this one we can take as the initial phase for any AI enabled person. We should start from ChatGPT interface and go forward. If I ask a question for ChatGPT, who discovered Brazil? What is the capital of France? It should respond in text. So if I ask for an application with ChatGPT, it would also respond in text. It would teach me on how, for example, on how to build an application. Okay, this is usually the flow how it goes. But for more advanced deployments, for more advancement prototypes or tests that you want to do, you want to use all the tools that allows you to go from text to working code that you don't need to actually implement. If you go to ChatGPT and ask a website, he's going to give you a website, but you need to implement that. So v0.app is one of these kind of AI generated, sorry, AI generation, code generation tools that can do the implementation for you. And I can name many here: Lovable, Replit, Bolt, V0. There are some that we install on the computers like Cursor, like Windsurf, like Climb. There are many tools out there that have the same purpose of generating working code applications from your prompt. I'm going to do a vibe check, very quick vibe check with V0 because I find it very, very good, like beginner friendly if you are new to it, and also robust enough to give us a good working base for doing things in ApeChain. Later down in this camp, we're going to use tools like Third Web, wallet connection, even smart contracts that are built with certain frameworks. We're going to use, for example, Next.js. It's a very robust framework. And when you vibe code with all the tools, with Replit, for example, that is very famous, or Lovable, that's one of the favorites out there. Unfortunately, even if you ask, use Next.js. Please use Next.js. It's very important. Even if you ask that for AI, for some reason they ignore that because the system prompt is made in a way that they ignore that. And they use another framework called Vite, which is not bad, but might give you a lot of headache and compatibility issues. So this is why we're going to go with this tool called v0.app. Okay, you should have it in the slides that I've shared. v0.app is very simple, v and the number 0.app. You should have access to that. And we're going to use this to visualize what is a vibe code and what's the proposal of vibe code. Okay, and we're going to come just with one idea. What do you want to create? Start building with a single prompt, no coding needed. Okay, and just by creating an account with V0, even a free account. Let me pick my personal free account here. Even when you create a free account with V0, you should get 5 credits here per month. Okay, and these 5 credits applied for all the accounts. They would last for a while. You can prompt for days, sometimes for weeks, without exhausting those credits. So they have a very generous free plan, which is good as well for getting started with vibe coding, because then you don't need to pay for the credit card. This can get you very far on your idea. Probably should be enough for everything that you need to do this week without needing to pay. Okay, so make sure that you are there. v0.dev, free is good. Always better when you don't need to pay your credit card, right? And we're going to put a broad description of some crazy idea that we want to build. Okay, Alok, may I use you as a volunteer? What kind of crazy idea would you like to create today? Something crazy, something that it's different from anything that you have seen out there.
Does it need to be Web3 or anything?
Anything in the world.
Let's do a coin flip. Simple coin flip app.
Flip app. With tokens or no tokens? Like, just kidding.
Yeah, let's do the reply. You get a gorilla coin.
Oh, gorilla coin flip app.
Yep, that sounds fun.
Heads is gorilla, and tails is banana. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it, people. You don't need to think about requirements on front end, on back end, on integration, APIs, mobile, database, cybersecurity, deployment, and cloud, and blah blah blah. You don't need to worry with anything like that. You just vibe. Gorilla coin flip app. Heads is gorilla, tails is bananas. The AI should be able to take it from there, because look, it is think. It is thinking. It is a miracle. The silicon is thinking, right? We're going to see about that in the next slide. So then the AI generated this thought. The user wants to create a coin flip app with the gorilla theme. Let me increase the zoom here, where the heads is come on. it's going too fast. Let me see if I can go back there. I want to see this chain of thought. So the AI is, let's put some air quotes here, is thinking that the user wants to create a game. It's a fun, interactable app that will need a coin flip animation interaction, nice UI UX with a coin flip experience, a single cohesive app, so I don't need to do a to-do list and all. So it makes sense, right, Alok? It should be able to create something interesting here, right?
Yep.
Okay. So after wait a little, here's the app. And this is the difference from ChatGPT to these code generation apps, that they actually go from code to implementation. They don't require you to copy the code and implement and all. Let's test the game. Who you bet on, gorilla or banana?
Gorilla, of course.
Let me see. Oops, flipping.
I lost.
Let's see.
Let's flip it again.
Let's try it again. Okay, banana. Maybe the gorilla is not working. Oh, then we have a gorilla.
Yeah. Oh, and the gorilla is vibing as well.
Okay. See? How long did it take people? 2 minutes. I stalled a little during the explanation, but this is the idea of vibe coding. Okay, we are 16 minutes deep in the live, and we get to this point. It seems like magic to some people. You can put this at the hand of your kids, of your friends, of your grandmother, and just by explaining what you want to build, we don't even need to get detailed in it. Just by explaining what we want to build, and it can create this kind of experiences, of visual experience. This is a website. I can even open it here. Let me go on to full screen. Here we have. It is loading. So it works in my browser. Okay, it has some mechanics there. The animations are quite good. I can put it on mobile mode. Let me see if I can get it working here. It's a little buggy, but you got the idea, right? There is code behind it. Okay, if I click in this tab here, code tab, I can see that there is a TypeScript code, AI generated code, with all of the necessary logic. There are here are the configurations for the framework itself, the styling. If you are a developer, you probably know what those lines of code are. But if you are not a developer, don't worry about this. English is your coding language now. Okay, increase the zoom again. Everything that you see here in the left, it is plain English. There is no need for any lines of code. Maybe there are some technical explanations like UI UX and responsive and all, but you code with English here. This is the idea. Okay. Yes. Well put, Alok. From ideation to working prototyping under 3 minutes. Okay. Imagine the possibilities here. Okay. So going back to our presentation, this was a vibe check. Now everyone knows what we're speaking about when we say what vibe coding. It's not like you are writing a specific syntax with AI, with neural networks, or anything like that. You're just vibing in English. You can even do it in Portuguese, Spanish, in Russian, whatever language you're familiar with, so long the AI is trained, it's capable of handling this language, you should be able to get a working app on the other side. Okay? Good. So now let's go for the explanation. Pay a lot of attention the next 30 minutes that we're going to go over some very well needed expectation management and vibe check here. First of all, did you know that as for now, at least in the middle of 2025, or the end of 2025, the LLMs can't actually reason like a human? They are merely a stochastic parrot. Even though they were calling the reasoning model reasoning, and there was a word saying thinking, this kind of miracle, it's not yet 100% possible. They can emulate some sort of thinking, that is more like next token prediction. Okay, that is more of matching patterns than actually coming up with new ideas, coming up with concepts. They're getting very good at that. So we call it stochastic parrots because they look like they can speak like a parrot, but it's stochastic. It means that it's based on guesswork, on statistics, on probabilistics. It's not actually talking back to us. Okay, we have a lot of examples like this of hallucinations. Count the number of R's in a strawberry, or how much is 8.9 minus 8.11, and then you get confused because they are just matching patterns. They are not actually thinking. Okay, there are a lot of discussions about that. The illusion of thinking, the illusion of thinking. There are a lot of discussion about that on how it's where we draw the line, how I can use it for thinking or not. Okay, I'm not going to get there on this camp, but I do have all the lessons where I go over this. There are a lot of good content about that if you want to get the deeps of it. But the most important thing for us to recognize and understand very well today is that some of these things that you ask for the AI, for example, these things that we tested with the live demo, the coin app that Alex suggested, for example, they were created by next token prediction machines, pattern matching suggestion machines, like when you are typing in your phone and then you get the next word suggestion. Oh, the next word is this and that and that. So it can predict what you're going to say, but it cannot think on your experiences. Okay, I can dive it further if you guys are not convinced, or if you want to get counter examples. But for now, this is the most important realization for us to do with it, which means that most problems worth solving, at least now mid 2025, most of these important problems would still require a human in the loop, even when using those model language models, large language models. Okay, you would still need to have like a technical co-founder or a teacher like myself or someone else. If you are fed up with all of my bad jokes, you can look for all the guidance. And also, this is still needed. It is dangerous for you to go ahead and code all of that without having a human in the loop. Okay, I'm going to explain why. This is very important. Okay, you still need to have some good understanding about software architecture to deploy a fully working app, especially a blockchain app. Okay, let me move myself out here. Maybe move myself to the top. You still need to have a good understanding about software architecture, about backend, database, storage, and all for you to have a fully working app, especially if you're going to integrate like smart contract, that the transaction are irreversible, that the money that is gone, you need audits and all. So this is very important. Don't go there coding things and deploying things out in the wild just because you got impressed by the 3 minutes demo with the coin flip app. Okay, this is very important to manage expectations. For you to get the maximum vibes over vibe coding, the best combination here would be for you to shorten your time. If you're non-technical, okay, vibe coding can shorten the time from development for developing from idea to prototype, exactly like Alex said. Instead of spending weeks, sometimes months, to validate if your idea is actually something through this coin flip app, if people would play that, if people would like the experience, for example, instead of waiting all of that time, you can just in a few hours or maybe even some minutes, you could just vibe with it for a couple prompts and see if it stands out on its feet. Okay, this is a very feasible way for you to use vibe coding. It's not going to create fully working apps, but you can go there and test something very quick. A client asked for a new feature, or an investor is testing a thesis, or you want to do a small adjustment in a workflow. You can go there to Visio.app, to Bolt, to Replit, whatever you like to use to vibe code, and test it very quickly. It's not going to be a fully working app, a fully working solution, Probably not, but maybe you are lucky. Probably is not going to be fully working, but you can get started with it. And if you are technical, I use this a lot, my devs use this a lot in my studio. You can use those AI coding tools. This might resonate with a lot of people watching this stream today. We can use those AI coding tools to automate those grindy, repetitive tasks. For example, you have a code that is already working in PHP, and you want to translate that to JavaScript, or you want to implement a framework, or you want to restyle a web page, and you have all of the logic already in place. The AI shouldn't be responsible for coming up with new logic. It should be only changing the syntax or the structure of the code. So pattern matching. Remember, we said that these AIs are more geared toward pattern matching because of the limitations that they have. So this would be a good fit. Tasks like writing unit tests, when you have the structure, let's say use BDD, behavioral driven development. So you can feed up this text for the AI, and the AI is going to come up with the unit tests. Let's say using TDD, test driven development. It can work. Let's say you want to create documentation, update the documentation, like HTML documentation, which is not like critical for the system to work. It's better to have an AI generated documentation than no documentation at all. At least you review that, I would assume, right? So this is the idea, Alec. You put it very well. Make it exist first, and then you can always improve later. If you are a non-technical builder creator, you can use AI to do your prototypes. And even if you are technical, you can still use AI to automate your grinding tasks, to automate some process that wouldn't require too much of a thinking requirement of a heavy thinking capabilities, but would benefit from pattern matching that those LLMs can do. Okay, that would be the balance here. What is the problem? Caution: there is danger already. There is danger ahead. This is something we spoke already in the last minute. The Dunning-Kruger effect is real here. Okay, let me shuffle the board again. You can get too confident. At some point, you can even feel like you have superpowers and start creating things, start creating apps out there without knowing how much you don't know. Sometimes you feel more confident as an initial beginner vibe coder than an expert software developer with 10 years of background. Just because you don't know how much you don't know. This is called the Dunning-Kruger effect, okay? It's not like that you don't understand or that you lack. It's not a skill issue or stupidity, like some people say. It's just normal. When we don't know how difficult a task is, sometimes we get overconfident. And sometimes it's even good, like beginner luck. You are so confident that you go there and create a great app. It might happen. But there are some dangers, because when we speak about customer data, about payments, especially blockchain smart contracts, this can be very, very dangerous. Okay. And then some people are like that. Oh no, just ship it, right? Why not? So it's looking good. Why not to ship it, to start making money with it, right? So there are some possible traps here. The UI, the user interface of your app might look very good, but the code is messed up under it. It happened once in my studio that a client came up thinking that the app was 100% done, almost 100% done. And he was saying, oh, I just have a little bug. When I click on send message, the other person is not receiving it. But the UI looks perfect. It's responsive. I don't need developers anymore. I just need to fix this small bug. And then when we went there to check, there was no backend. There was just UI only. Everything was mocked. You could click through the pages, and there was no database, no API, nothing. Just the UI. So the expectation from the client is that the app was 100% complete. That there was just a little missing piece. That was a bug. But actually, as a developer, you would see, oh, you are missing the whole backend. You have a car, but you don't have an engine. So you have 20% of your app, not 100% of your app. That's the kind of misalignment that sometimes happen. Okay. Sometimes the app is working partially, but there are some crucial missing parts in the backend, or some integrations, or some security flaws that might happen there, and you don't know because, again, the Dunning-Kruger effect. You don't know how much you don't know, right? When you get started with things, even developers, this happens all the time. The app works very well from the user perspective, so you can have all the features. Let's say that coin flip app, you can have it very clean. It works well. Okay, but when you check in the code itself, the implementation, let's say the randomness is not implemented correctly. Let's say that the reward mechanism, whatever leaderboard that is there, it's fake. So sometimes from the user perspective, it works well, but when you check behind the scenes, there are a lot of wrong stuff there. Okay, so why should we care about that? If it works, just let it be. You can start generating revenue with that, right? A very famous example last year, actually this year, March. Somehow it feels like last year for some reason. So in March this year, this guy Leo got very famous. Okay, he was saying that he built SaaS, a business, software as a service business, from zero with Cursor, with no handwritten code, vibe coding. At the time, this was not very popular. So he was saying that AI is no longer just an assistant; it's also the builder. Now we can continue to whine about it and start building. And he was saying, yes, people would pay for that. Okay, this is a real case. The guy got very famous. You can even Google for it. And part of the point is right. Yes, we can start creating things without waiting for approval for budgets and developers and all. But there is a problem here. You know what happened to this guy, to Leo? Unfortunately, have heard about this?
I think his startup got hacked, or I think like he like insane ported or something.
Yeah, it was crazy. So
Yeah.
this is how it went down. You are in the loop, Alec. Let me put these screens up here. He started complaining, or not complaining. He started reporting that his app was under attack, like cybersecurity attack or something like that. But actually, no, he just missed the implementations. So he was saying that random things are happening. My API keys are wrong. My database is messed up. I'm not technical, but this is taking a long time to figure out, to fix. And eventually he shut down his app, which is sad. It's not because he deserved punishment for questioning the necessity of developers here. No, I don't see it like that. I see like a possible viable business that people would be paying for that was solving real pains, real problems out there, solving the pains of people, would create solutions for these pains, and unfortunately wouldn't keep existing, was shut down. The world became a little worse because we don't have this small benefit of having this small solution for that thing because of wrong techniques, wrong patterns, or wrong misguided development flow for a vibe coder. See? So I see that with sadness, we could have Leo well prepared with resources if he attended this camp. Maybe the next Leo it is going to be better prepared because now we have this kind of guidance, right? So this is the idea. This is why you should pay attention. This is why you should follow through so that we avoid this kind of situations. And even worse, for example, there is this app. I guess Alok called it up a while ago. The T app, yes. that had a similar problem, had security flaws, embedded intrinsic security flaws, and the app was hacked. But the thing is, it wasn't like invaded. It was not like a work of a hacker that had to dig in deep to find the security flaws. No, actually, the information was just there, publicly available for anyone. Any random person that would go for that link, it would be an app that was designed to protect women, and then they would create an account, put in their documents and all, but ended up exposing 72,000 images, selfies, and driver's license and location data of women, putting them in danger because they vibe coded the app without the security measurements. Okay. Why? Because they didn't know how much they didn't know. The Dunning-Kruger effect that we're solving here today throughout this camp, for you to know what you are able to do and what you're not able, what techniques to apply, what kind of tools and how to use them on each sequence for you to maximize your chances of success. Okay. Good. Look, I guess we're all on par here. We don't want a banana tea app or something like that on ApeChain, right? Okay. But also, yeah, anything to add?
No, I wanted to say that it just resonate with what you just mentioned, that without knowing what to look for, it's easy to make a mistake. But it's, I mean, if you don't actually understand what it takes to actually build a secure backend and protect your data, you don't think about it. And AI is not going to do it for you either. So there has to be some form of safety rails to build a secure app.
Exactly. And even some of these tools even say that they have like a security advisor that is going to automatically check out of your app. But it's not true. Okay, it's still AI. Still not going to get all of the necessary eyeballs on that. Okay. But also, this is why it's tricky. I don't want you to stop you from vibe coding something important. You should, but you should be aware of these security flaws. But also, that is the other wrong path. That is over engineering. Okay. Usually, we see those 007 projects, zero bugs, but also zero clients and 7 months in development, right? So don't be like that. Okay, I've done that 6 times, and I can guarantee it doesn't work. Let me move here to the top. So I spent 6 months building my app, 0 bugs. I tested it for 3 more months, 0 users. Oh, literally 0 users. So making a buggy app that have 72,000 people leaking their documents, it's bad, yes. But also making an app for 6 months without bugs and no user is also bad. I trend to over-engineer things. And this is why I'm so excited with this bootcamp, because I'm going to have access to a few hundred, maybe half a thousand of creators that are in the other side of the spectrum. You want to create, you have a brilliant idea, you know that you have the users, you have the distribution, you can reach 10,000 people on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Instagram with one post. But you need to have the technical part. If you are this kind of person, this is going to be a great compliment here, because this is where the magic is going to happen. Okay, so far, I had some boot camps for technical people. Now I'm excited with this possibility, because you might be very well equipped for avoiding over engineering, for avoiding building stuff that people don't want. Because the same superpower of building can also be a curse, because we get excited with building something for ourselves and we don't listen to the wheels of the client, of the market, and all. And this is bad. Okay, I've done that 6 times, literally 5-6 times in my studio. 0 users, great apps that I love, but they have 0 users. Eventually, you need to kill them. Okay, so this is the balance that we should achieve. Okay, I have a small graph for that, AI generated graph as well. So there is a red zone where you enter the Leo or the T app zone, where you have a lot of user growth, but you did not invest enough time on building technical complexity for your project. Okay, so let's say that you have 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million users, but still you did not invest time with developers. You don't have a technical founders. Now, this is bad. You are in the red zone. Okay. Ideally, you would start with a little of technical complexity, like a landing page or something like that. And as you start getting users, you would start evolving your technical complexity. Okay. In my situation, I'm in this vertical black line here. Went all the way for high technical complexity with 0 users. So don't do that. Above the green line, you are still safe, but you're not making money. In the green, inside the green zone, you are making money and developing in a safe pace, which is good. In the red zone, you are making a lot of money, but you probably don't want to be here because bad things can happen at any time. Okay. Full degen vibe code. This is not safe vibe coding. Okay. Don't drink and vibe code. I guess this is a good way to put it down. Okay, so that's my suggestion. If we could take one slide today, this would be the slide for managing expectation. Okay, so why we're speaking all about that? Because we just learned those superpowers of vibe coding capabilities to go from idea to app, but now we need to manage expectation on what we can do and what we cannot. Okay, so in a nutshell, what you should look for if you are creating prototype, okay, that's great. Vibe coding, good to go. You can create a prototype. You're going to have 1, 2, 3 users. I'm going to suggest a framework for that today. So looks good. You shouldn't face any problems here. It's just a prototype, okay? No one's going to put their private data on a prototype. No one's going to put money in a prototype. So it's great. Go without fears, without restraints, just vibe your way out. If you are creating a full application, okay, you might get started with vibe debugging. You're going to find bugs, some implementation problems, database connection, APIs. Okay, up to this point, half and half. You might have success, might not have success. I see a lot of people frustrated here, paying like $200 of credit card bills with AI agents without going anywhere. So it's great. Vibe coding can be great for creating prototypes. For creating full applications might not be that good. Okay. When you are adding features, AI can start getting crazy. You might have seen some people say, "Oh, AI wiped all of my database, wiped all of my app, deleted all of the lines of code." Now, it can start getting crazy. So if you don't know version control Git, now as a non-technical creator or a builder without the tech background for that, you might start having a lot of problems. The probability of you to get, I'm looking for a better word, to get screwed by AI, it's like 90% or more. So at this point, you should consider having a technical co-founder or looking for a dev help or dev rel. Just ping Alok. He works 24/7 anyway. So just send him a message, right? Just kidding. But have someone to help you there. It's going to be very important. And last but not least, if you are scaling products with vibe coding, stop and seek help. Things can go bad very quickly when you go for DevOps, database, AWS, cloud bills, transport layer security, and all of that. Okay, so make sure that you are well equipped with correct technical co-founder, maybe even a dev team when you are scaling out the products, because vibe coding is totally not enough for this, at least not yet. Maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years. Would be nice at some point if all of us can just hang out in the beach, drinking some coconut water, eating some bananas, you say banana smoothies, you say hydrated, right? And AI would code everything for us. That would be nice. Okay, we would all be rich by then because we bought Ape early or something like that. Just kidding, just kidding. You would defer all of the work for the AI, but this is not a reality yet. Don't expect the AI to be able to handle all of the development cycle. Okay, you should stop around prototype, maybe some parts of your application. Anything beyond that, it's crazy. Okay. Another good point that I call out. You might be considering, okay, I'm going to start getting my first users with vibe coding, and then I'm going to hire a developer, because if I hire a developer, it's 100% chance that the code is going to be good, right? So after 10 years of working, 10 more years of working with software development, beware of that as well, because developers also write terrible code. Where do you think AI learned to do all of these bugs? From humans, of course. So, oh, I'm going to hire a dev and then my product is going to be perfect. Okay, maybe. If you use AI, probably the backend is going to be all messed up. If you use a developer that is not experienced, or if you don't give them enough time to build, you're also going to have terrible code. Okay, so knowing who to partner with, where to go for development help is very important. Okay, it's not only skill issue. Sometimes you don't have time. They don't give enough time for the developer. Sometimes there are communication issues. The requirements are not clear. Okay, even for prompting, the requirements are not clear for prompting. They are not clear for developers as well. Okay, so this is very important to consider as well. Having the correct team, the correct technical co-founder now, it's very important, because you might get frustrated with AI and then go for a dev, and then you get frustrated with the dev. Who are you going to go for? So consider that it's not just because you hire a developer, you have a co-founder, a CTO, that the code is going to be better out there. Okay, it's very important as well. So what are my steps, my suggested steps? The first thing with vibe coding is not coding, it's vibing. You should validate the pain that you're solving. Okay, this is the whole objective of the first week. Each step is going to take about one week in this program. So for today, we're going to do this exercise of validating a pain that we are solving. I'm going to show the ideation process. We're going to do some more interactive session as well with some tools that I'm going to suggest. And the objective is to get at the end of this week with your problem statement well defined. How? And I'm going to go over the other steps as well, just so that we make sure we know where we are going. We should interview people, customers, investors, friends, the ApeChain community itself, like Alok and all the members. You should interview all the human beings and validate if they would have this kind of pain. Would you play this gorilla coin flip game? What do you think it's missing? What would you add here? What do you think it's cool? If you start speaking with your audience early on, you can save a lot of development time invested in things that people don't want. Been there, done that. I've built things for myself that people don't want, because I'm a very unique person. All of you are very unique. Sometimes you like things that other people don't like. You would buy it. Yes, it might build something for you. Okay. But unless there are other people with the same problem as you, and that you can find these people out there, which is very important. Probably there are other people out there that want to play this game, but you need to test if you can find them, if you can interview them, if you can get the correct questions asked and the correct answers for you to guide yourself. This can be done with AI as well, with AI research. This is one of my suggestions for today. You can research your problem with AI. How many posts from Reddit can you read in a day? How many Twitter threads? You need to keep 24/7 in crypto Twitter to know all of the news, right? If you use an AI to summarize that, and here suggest two of them, Perplexity, even in the free plan, you should be able to choose this feature that I'm going to point out, or ChatGPT with the research, or Manus. There are many others, Cloud, Gemini, that can do this kind of research for you. This can be great for research, for finding information out there. Not only to validate the idea, but also validate the competition. Okay. Every idea that is financially sustainable solves a pain, solves a pressing issue that someone else has. If this issue is there, someone is going to be solving that directly or indirectly. Okay. If you invent something new and you think that you don't have competitors, you might not have companies as competitors, but something else is competing with you. Okay. Who is competing with us now for teaching people how to vibe code with ApeChain? I don't know if there is any other camp to vibe code with ApeChain. I might be inclined to say that I'm not competing with anyone, right? Wrong. I'm competing with all of these other YouTube videos teaching you on how to ride a bicycle on moon or something interesting that is out there, drawing your attention from watching this camp, for example. There are always competitors out there, direct or indirect competitors. So search for validate the pain, validate the competitors, what they are using, what kind of communication channels they are using. This is very important. Okay, and I'm going to do this exercise live to show you what you should do, or how I would do if I had a new idea, because this is going to be one of the most important parts of this bootcamp. You can do the week 2, 3, and 4 very well, but if you fail the week 1 of creating a good idea, you're probably not going to have traction. You're probably not going to get revenue. You're probably not going to have investment opportunities. You're probably not going to have a business. And then you have another cool portfolio app that is going to be just that forever. So I have lots of those already. A lot of apps with 0 users. If you want to do that for learning, that is super good. Okay, you can get a job, you can get started with building it up. But what if you want to create something revenue generating, something with business possibilities? This is what ApeChain can help you a lot, getting out there and creating something that people want to use, right? So this is why the week 1 is the most important. Okay. Anything to add before we proceed, Alok, on this point?
No, I didn't want to go too deep into it, but mostly competition is actually good. Competition is healthy. Like you want to get out of this mindset that I want to do something totally unique that no one has thought of before. But having competition means that your idea is already validated. We'll cover this in the future sessions as well. I just wanted to drop that in there.
Yeah. So this is all about this week's homework. You should validate your idea very well and good. We are going to have a session about that. Well pointed out, Alok. So how would you get started with this today? Okay, I'm not going to give you directions of what you should build in this bootcamp, okay, people? You're going to build your idea. So today's session is very important for that, for you to learn the tools that you're going to start getting your idea out of paper. Okay, we're going to have 40 minutes, 45 minutes if possible for that, for getting the idea out of paper. And the whole bootcamp is going to be guided by your personal idea there. You're going to build there with you and your team, if you have a team, based on this. So I'm going to use one of my ideas, maybe Alok's ideas, and you might use your idea there. This is going to guide the whole development of the bootcamp. So make sure that you stop whatever else what you're doing and engage with this session for you to get started with this. Okay. So The first step would be defining your idea in a single sentence after you do this research, for you to be able to state something like that, an elevator pitch. My app name is a defined offering to help a defined audience to solve a problem with a secret sauce. If you are able to put your idea like that, your project like that, you solved half of the problem itself. I forgot the name of the rule, but there's someone that said something like that. If you can state a problem very well stated, you solved half of it. Okay, but I might Google for that later. Put in the comments. If someone want to Google that, just put here in the comments. So this is a very important milestone already. Okay, what is ApeChain? ApeChain is this and this and that. What is venture miner? Venture miner is this and this and that. What is a mug? A mug is an object to hold liquids for, in this situation, for right-handed people, to be able to hold it while it's hot without burning my hand, because it has this handle. So this place is hot and this one is cold. So I defined my solution in one phrase. It doesn't come in the details of what the mug is made, what ceramics there are, why it has this capability of holding temperature, the design, the color choice, what is here. Lawyer for realestate.com. I don't know what this company is, but it's just written here. So this kind of requirements are not in your elevator pitch. I see a lot of people explaining their ideas in 5 minutes, and after the 15 seconds, I'm sorry, I'm lost. I'm thinking about the next football game of Flamengo against someone else, okay, some Brazilian. I'm not going to pay attention after 15 seconds unless you prove it that I should pay attention of what you're saying. And might be very respectfully looking at you and nodding my head while you explain all of your technical background of your project, but I might not be following. So make sure to reduce and explain your idea in something like that, okay? This is a good outcome by itself. And then let's do this exercise. I'm going to explain the whole steps, but before we go forward, I would suggest for you to get one idea and research it. Maybe spend 10 minutes here, okay? And we're going to have a whole session about ideation later, but I want to show the tools, okay? You might be familiar with ChatGPT interface, this pane that I showed here. You just need to make sure to enable research or search options, okay? ChatGPT is quite heavy on the limitations for free users. So I would suggest instead using Perplexity. They have a very good free plan. I do have the pro plan. Let me see how my account is currently. I just need to log in. Just 1 second. I'm logging into my account here. Be right back. Sure. Yeah. So it is slow. Okay, so this is Perplexity. I do have the pro account, like I was saying, but you can do the same things that I'm going to do with the free account, okay? That is one of the features that is this Perplexity Labs that is only for the pro account, but the version that I'm going to show is using this research button, okay? Deep research, which is enabled in the free plan. And you should be able to do like 10, even more researches in the free plan without paying anything for Perplexity, okay? If you want to use ChatGPT, you can as well use the research mode. If you want to use Matheus or all of these other tools, you should do this deep research mode or search mode or web-enabled mode, because these AI models, remember I told you they are LLMs, they are next token predictions, they are stuck in the past. For example, if you ask who is the president of the United States, it's probably not going to know about the recent elections, about Trump or everything that's going on, because they are limited in the knowledge of the training data that they are fed when they are being trained. and they are the model is being created. So for you to have access to new information, to search in the web, to get information out there of products, of news, of technologies and all, you need to use an agentic workflow, an AI agent that is able to go to the web, search, like use Google, get the answer, and incorporate this answer, use this answer in the reasoning process, in the AI generation process. Okay, this kind of feature is named search or deep research, depending on how the AI is working. If it's just search and get information back like this, it works. It gets answer for everyday questions and come back. If you ask on deep research, it can get answers and then iterate on those answers and search for more things, search for correlated information. It might go back and figure, and I discovered that it was wrong, and then go back. So this would allow the AI agent to guide itself into search for things if you don't know what to search. This would be the deep research. Okay, it's more than just a normal search. Would have a workflow there. Okay. So, for example, let's ask, what are this is a research flow. What are the most popular coin flip games in the Web3 industry? Do you know that, Alok? Have you done your research for your idea? I honestly don't know.
Me neither. I just threw it out there.
There are many. So what Perplex is doing, and I'm using Perplex, but again, you can use any other AI chat tool that has this deep research. Even the search would work, but the deep research is even more powerful. So the AI is asking the web for these three queries: Web3 coin flip games, blockchain coin flip dApps, crypto coin flip platforms. It is aggregating all of the results. So it's reviewing those 19 results. So you see how it's agentic. It get the results instead of returning back to me with the results. It's still going through. It's reading the results as in a stochastic parrot. Yes, but AIs can summarize information very well, and it can match information very well. So by matching the results of these links with my initial prompt, the AI can do a fairly good job here. And it's going through 67 sources now. So it's investigating. Oops, let me see if I can go back to the steps. So it started investigating the rankings and discussions to identify the most popular coin flip games. This would be a research that would take a day for a human to do, to go through all of these articles. Top Web3 games to explore in 2025, 10 biggest, best DeFi crypto projects. So it's reading all of that. Then it's figuring out it should explore specific blockchain casino games and platform features to identify the most popular coin flip options. Interesting. So got that. The user ranking and statistics and that, and then finish it. You can check the sources if you want to see if they are hallucinated, if you pick something wrong or no. So there is one in Solana, some in roll space, whatever. And at the end, it gave us this result. So the Web3 game space has embraced the simplicity and excitement of the coin flip games. Okay. The leading Web3 coin flip platforms, DJing coin flip in Solana, Slotana, roll space coin flip, Gamba. So there are a lot of aggregated information here. This is a research that might have taken you a couple days. It was just completed for you by an AI in 2 minutes, based on your idea. So, for example, before investing time and effort in building this game out, on building all of the features, I could start asking as a research flow. For example, there are many possible paths for us to follow. What are the most common complaints and requested features in these gates. These gates. Okay. I hope I'm not making any typo here. There are many different questions that I could ask: size of market, projected revenue. Now, I'm just asking a question based on like community feedback. It should go on the reviews, on the forums, and the blog posts. What are the common complaints and requested features in these games? And the AI can aggregate most of that, like YouTube comments. I spent hours flipping a virtual coin and regret nothing. This is a very interesting. This is a very interesting source that AI found. So, how long would you take to do all of this research, right? So, AI is going to aggregate all of that for you, do the research, pull up the most important data points, summarize that, compress all of that in a report. Then you can ask follow-up questions on there. Maybe you're going to find some top pressing issues or some market opportunities out there. So major user complaints: the complex user experience and poor onboarding. So this is why ApeChain might be a perfect solution to make the onboarding process seamless and just connect your wallet and go for it. We're going to see more about that next week. Probably fair system confusion. So how to prove that the outcomes are correct. So that is the link here of zero knowledge proofs and understanding the probability of the fair result there with zero knowledge proofs. Okay. Forced C changes and manipulation concerns. So there are a lot of interesting takes here, and I can even ask the AI, so come up with a game design for new coin flip game app on ApeChain that would solve all of these. And this the research part might not be the ideal. Maybe you want to use all the AIs for that with all the models. But I can even prompt engineer, consider that you are the most expert game developer in the world, use the Octa analysis framework for that. I could prompt engineer it, give some examples, but this bootcamp is not about prompt engineering. It's more how to vibe code something from ground up. So I'm just doing the ideation just as an example of what you should do for this first week. But imagine that at some point you would spend one day, you and your group, prompting back and forth on your idea, on the competitors. Sometimes you want to do an app for yourself to solve a pain that you have, converting PDFs to something or managing passwords and all. And then you figure out that there is a perfect solution developed in Yugoslavia is not a country anymore. Oh my God, I'm trying to remember countries in the East Europe for some reason. In Ukraine, from a dev shop there, and this app only had 100 users, but it solves 100% the pain that you want to solve for your problem. Yeah, I can find that for you. So you don't need to develop that from ground up. You can just build something on top of what is existing there. Some golden Serbian devs, yes. This is what I'm speaking about. You find a small studio in Chile or Argentina that built this solution for Web3 indexing and all, and it's a great tool, but it's not very well known. So you can find these kind of things with AI. And then you can compose with these solutions that are out there. Some of them are open source. Some of them are you can white label. So it's not only for creating an idea, but also to compose with ideas that are out there. Okay. So the solution that the AI gave us is that we should build Ape Flip, a revolutionary coin flip game design for ApeChain. So the smartest coin flip in Web3, where every flip is fair, fast, and fun. FNF.
I love the name though, Ape.
Yeah. Better than banana flip. That's good. So look, yeah, AI gave us a good statement. ApeFlip is a next generation coin flip platform that combines the simplicity of traditional coin flipping with Web3 innovation, built specifically for ApeChain Layer 3 infrastructure. The game eliminates all the common Web3 gaming frictions while introducing revolutionary features that enhance the user experience and community engagement. Okay? This is catchy. I would still suggest something more clear, like what we have here is full of catchy words, buzzwords, and now we see that in the social media all the time, right? But my personal opinion is that you should cut through the noise and just state something clear. My app is this for Web3 gamblers, solving the problem of provable randomness with ApeChain layer 3 something. So that would be the best way. Whenever you embellish it too much, like it's a revolutionary platform with Web3 innovation and blah 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 blah, it doesn't actually say anything. You are more like a windbag announcement that doesn't say anything. It sounds beautiful, but it has nothing on it. So Web3 is full of that. AI is full of that. Let's avoid that and let's be more sober. And here we have some definitions. Oh, it has a guest mode that users can play immediately and demo ape token. That's nice. We would have the social logging because we will see that with Third Web in this bootcamp. There's the embedded wallet and the progressive onboarding. So we don't have any friction on itself. Sounds good. Instant one-click fair verification. Nice. With a visual fairness indication. You don't need to be technical for that. Have proof of archive, okay, with the cryptographic proofs, and a native mobile first design. Okay, what do you think of this architecture design, Alex? Sounds good?
I mean, so far, I think like it covers all the bases, right? It
Yeah.
verifies plugin, not so much fairness score. Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Proof of archive, yeah, because you want to see like if it actually has been fair over the past, like let's say 100 flips or something. The last thing you want to see is that like, oh yeah, it's like I don't know, 10:1 ratio.
Yeah.
A native PWA. Sometimes you want to flip a coin on the phone. Large intuitive buttons, yeah, because you just have like one user action, which is to flip a coin. So yeah, one button works great. Offline mode, yeah, maybe okay.
Yeah.
Push
Sounds good.
notifications, yeah, sounds good so far.
So this is the homework for this week. Okay, people, you should have your idea out there. Try to flesh it out with AI, with research, interview people as well with your idea, and you should be able to have some similar result. Okay, if you copy Alok's idea and you make $1 billion, just give him half of it and should be good, right, Alok? Maybe give 5% for me
Higher,
as well.
maybe more.
Okay, so this is the AI output. The research, you can go to the sources, you can go for the steps and all. Okay, if you want to keep using this, for example, you can even ask the AI. This is going to be useful for next week's. You can ask the AI to create a PRD. It is a very important keyword, product requirement documentation for your app. Okay, you're going to be chatting a lot with AI back and forth. So at some point, you might want to put all of that in one document that is going to be used as context for the AI. Okay, context can be used in the word like in the context of context itself. Sorry for the inception. I'm going to speak about that slowly because it can get confusing. So when I'm speaking about context, it might be the canonical meaning of the word, like giving more information in the background of the idea. Okay, But also, there is a special technical keyword called context for AI models as well. That would be the amount of information that the model can use inside of a mechanism. It's called the attention mechanism inside of it, where it can relate a word to the other word. And this is called a context window. So you do want to use this space very carefully, very strategically. Okay, you don't want to put too much information so that you could confuse the AI, but you don't want to put it too little as well so that it can hallucinate. So that giving context for the AI is going to be very important in future lessons. It's not important for now while you are validating your idea. I just want you to recall that next week when we come back to the building the guidelines, the project building guidelines itself, and building the project, that you can come back to your chat with the AI. Maybe you want to save it in a space or something like that, and ask for this PRD, create a PRD for my app, product required documentation for my app, because the AI knows what is PRD, and you can use that in Perplexity with ChatGPT or whatever you're using. You can even type your PRD manually if you want, because a product requiring document is a very standard document that AI is very well trained on. Okay, you might ask for all the documents like describe my app idea, it might work, but the AI is so well used, so well trained in this specific PRD format that it can do a very good job. It reduces hallucinations, and now it's very efficient. Maybe because they are was trained in terabytes of PRD examples. Imagine a big software house or code spec for like a banking system or for an insurance system. You are going to have a lot of PRD documents for even small changes. Change the color of this button from yellow to green. That is a 365 PRD pages PRD document for that. Okay, maybe more. I've seen those in the past. They are scary. Yes, they use it to be printed, and then you would need to flip the pages reading all of them before you change the color of a button. This is a thing. So there are a lot of older consultancy companies, software development companies. They have a lot of these kind of papers. We do have a lot of other kind of material and documents for all the kind of description as well. But using this single word PRD, those three letters, for some reason, it's very accurate, very, very, very efficient. Okay. Let's see what's happening here. The AI seems to be stuck. You should be able to create that without so much of a problem. If it stalls, just skip that part. Okay. What's happening? Maybe it's the problem with my Perplexity stuff here. So let me try that. Create a PRD for my app. Yes.
Maybe Perplexity is bugging out.
Yeah. Now it's working for some reason. Okay. So organize your research by saving context for future researchers. So it's also again suggesting me to create this space. For some reason it has clogged here. That's not very common to happen, but the idea is that the app would create that document for you. Okay, maybe we come back in 3 minutes or so. I had examples in the past. Let me see if I have one of these. Why my library is empty? I had more. So I want an app that automates my process of receiving job applications. I had that examples in the past. So it created a PRD at the end. So for example, create a PRD, a product requirement document for this, and then created that markdown file with the PRD document with all of the necessary data. See, load all. Picking one example that I did in the past just to speed up the process here, but this is how a document should look like. Is this the most efficient context kind of document? No, it's just because the AI is so efficient in building these kind of documents, it's a common like hack or trick that a lot of people suggest when vibe coding. Create this PRD and keep it updated. That can be a good source of context for the AI. Okay, so pick whatever idea that you have and create a PRD out of it. It should work well. Okay, this would be the step one. After you finish this step, the PRG part is not important for this week. Just remember that in the future. But after you finish this step, you should have your idea well validated, well contained. Okay, so that you know what you're building. Everyone in the same team would know very well what you're building. Okay, let me see if I have questions so far. A lot of good comments about the social part itself, hint for all the small groups. Look, for this kind of group and questions, and all, we can use the Telegram for that, right?
Yeah, what we said that like the builders Telegram is a good place to get started. You could find team members, co-founders, anything. Just like get yourself introduced, talk about what you're building, and maybe you'll find someone to work together with.
Okay. No, that's great. So far, we went through the definition of vibe coding, the expectation management, now getting your idea. At the end of it, you should have this step 0 done. Then you should be able to say that very easily. My app name is something. My coin flip app is a coin flipping app on ApeChain to help Web3 gamblers to gamble safely with ApeChain easy onboard flow, something like that. Okay, so you should be able to say that very quickly. An elevator pitch can get people's attention. After you get people's attention, then you start throwing more information at them. Okay, how much you want to raise, buy my token, shilling, and do whatever you want after. But the first step, you should make sure that you have people's attention. Okay. Second step, validate your idea. It might be a great idea on your head. Do your consumers want to pay for that? Do they even want to use that in the first place? Do you know if the investors would back you up if you want to raise capital? Do you know if ApeChain community would support this idea? Would you have users? Would you feel proud saying that you created this app in your family gathering, at Thanksgiving, at Christmas? Hey, Grandma, I created a coin flip app and I made $3 million. Oh, congratulations. So this is the kind of validation, social, commercial validation that you should look for at this point. I would suggest there are many ways for you to validate your idea. I would suggest building a landing page or a document, a Google Docs maybe, or Notion page, wherever you find better, for you to test your assumptions against a number of different individuals. 10 people from your family, 5 of your friends, 2 of your potential customers, 1 of your potential investors if you want to raise capital. Throw that in the ApeChain community. Okay, look, we might have this kind of peer feedback there, right? If you have an idea, you're going to create your landing page and create your validation, and then you would start having feedback. It can be great for team formation as well. If you see someone else's idea that is super cool to work on, you might want to join them and then start to create that with them as well. Okay. How to validate this idea? I would suggest creating a landing page. You need to be exactly this word, landing. When you land on, when you come from like a social media for a post, let's say you are going to put this link on Telegram. When you click this link, you should arrive at the landing page. Okay, and the AI understands this terminology very well. The AI was fed with terabytes of landing page examples, and this can guide the AI for building this kind of pages with this format very well. That should be a hero section at the top. It's more about design, like social proof, under the hero, under the problem, solution, frequent asked questions, and a call to action at the end. For you to test engagement, it cannot be something that's just exposition of information, show information. You want to test your assumption if people would click, if they would fill in their email, trust you with your data, with their data, if they would pay for it eventually. If you just have a thumbs up and the pat in the back, it's not good validation of. Okay? A lot of people said my ideas were great, but they wouldn't buy it. Okay, just one example. Why I'm insisting on this point. I created an app that would pick all of your social media posts and would write a book from it. I got feedback from like 20 people saying, "Oh, this is a good idea. I want a book, and I don't have time to write a book." So if you can write a book that sounds like me, just by having my social media post, I would like it. I would buy it. They would say, but actually, we went with this product for 6 months, and to be truth, it wasn't zero sales. We had one sale in 6 months, but the idea was validated for me because people gave me positive feedback, but actually it wasn't. Okay, if I tell you this idea, oh, okay, it's cool. Yes, I don't have time to write a book, but I would like to have a book with my name on it that sounds like me. Yes, I would, but it's not urgent. No one is going to die if they don't have a book with their own ideas and political opinions, So this time of validation is very important. And if you want more examples of failed apps, I have lots of them that I could share. Validate the interest of people on an idea with a call to action at the end. Should repeat that in the hero as well. There is some design guidelines for that. I'm not a super experienced designer, but then I know how to build a landing page from the requirements that we had on past clients and projects that we worked with, more than like 50 projects at this point. So it is kind of a proven recipe. You can enter all of your favorite apps. You can enter like Cursor Page, you can enter Windsurf, you can enter V0, you can enter any normal app that you use, like Notion, Airtable, StreamYard, whatever app, software as a service app, they're going to have a very similar structure. It would have a hero on the top with some deviations from that, social proof, problem, solution, frequent asked questions, and CTA. Okay. This is like a common playbook. For example, let me go to a website that you might know very well. Let me share this tab. ApeChain. Here's the hero. Very convincing, super cool. I can get a glance of it. There is a call to action here. Interesting. So some cases of projects that launched, the spotlight, battle plan here. What's this? This is a very good social proof. It proves that people are doing things in ApeChain, very cool things. Look at that. And then the kind of solutions or things that you find inside the community, the ApeChain apps that you can scroll to them and see all the apps. There's a little more of usability here than just a landing page, which is kind of good. It's more of a mature project. Don't know if there's an FAQ. Probably there's a link for that somewhere. And then the call to action. Look at that. This is some cool animation, bro. Hey, look, you guys did a great job. Look here. Oh, that's super cool. Okay, first time I'm hovering over this. Okay, it explains the idea. Get you excited. No, now I want to build on ApeChain. I want to put my app here. Okay, so these are the kind of playbooks or recipes and all that. If you follow, you have a better chance of success. Okay. Yeah, the website is very good. Yeah, but I mean, if you can express your idea in 5 minutes with something so compelling, it's worth trying, right?
Yeah, I wanted to drop that. You want to get your visitors excited about what you're building, what you're about to showcase. Too much information is not good, and too little is not good either. So you want to find that right balance. You want to get people to like look forward to what you actually have to offer.
Exactly. Because people, we are going to explain you how to vibe code and give all of the technicals and things on how to get the idea to build an app. That's kind of commodity. That's kind of granted. Okay, I can solve that for you very well. But getting people to buy your product, oh man, this is the secret sauce. This is the difficult part. This is what's going to separate you from um, uh, 007 founders, like zero bugs, zero clients as well, and 7 months development to actually a successful project out there. Okay, the objective of this camp is to put you in the track of building successful projects, revenue generating projects. So don't worry, we're going to cover all of the technical parts eventually with third web integrated with ApeChain, with proper development tools in your environment, and all. This is included in this camp. But most importantly, have an idea that is worth building to give you motivation, to help you reach market, for help you to give even financials, right, for getting grants and to getting revenue, maybe even investments. So make sure that you make something compelling that people can get excited, and not just another, oh, I'm going to do another DEX and without any secret sauce. It's just another DEX for a portfolio project. Again, if you're building that, that's cool. It can help you to get hired, can help you to learn and all. We're going to cover all of these things in this camp as well. But we are pushing you to a little more. Okay, pushing you to get actual customers, actual engagement with the product. Okay, so how to do that? Now that you did all your research, let me go back for the products. Let's see if the Web3 game worked. Let's see. Yeah, we do have a PRD for my game. Actually, your game, right, Alec? Maybe give me a little shares of that because I'm happy with 5 gold that for Ape Flip. So this is the PRD for Ape Flip. This is a lot of good context. Now, let's say you want to build a landing page for this app. Okay, how would you do it? By coding? By hiring a developer? No, I would vibe code a website and I would publish it in a way that I can get those N users, X users, 10 users, 20 users, 50 users to actually interact with my call to action. It cannot be just, oh, this idea is cool. We need to have them to interact, to join a waitlist, to fill a form. Okay, and don't maximize for conversion here. You should filter some people, because having people just say that your idea is good and subscribe for a waitlist is okay. You can get it, and these numbers are going to be good for you to show early traction. Yes, maybe you want to maximize for showing early traction. Yes, but you want to have signal, not just noise. For example, if you pay a bot farm to have 10,000 subscribers to your waitlist, do you think that this is good or bad for your project? You can fake those numbers to show traction and all. Okay, but also you're going to have a lot of noise. These people wouldn't pay for your project later, right? So what does it matter having a good number if it's not going to convert? I'm doing an extreme example here, but the idea of using those CTAs here is that you should filter people to see if you actually have a consumer base, a user base, if they would fill your form to get in the wait list, if they would give them, if they would give you their data, their name, their company, or if they would post and tag you on social media, something like that, so that you validate the interest of your public. Okay. If this is your first project, if you're not famous, if you don't have much of a community and all, you can just put like single line of write your email. That should work. But if you want to do something more complex, something that you have already a base, you're doing a huge launch, you're going to fundraise for making a film or something like that, maybe you want to put some more questions, ask for wallet address, ask for company information, or maybe do invite only. You need to have an invite link. So there are many ways that you can play with it. Okay. I would suggest, let's go back to V0. I would suggest picking AI generation app. I can even start a new tab. Let me go for a new project. You know that we have the app working. The app is one thing, and the landing page is another thing. We could even create a landing page here in the same app. It might get a little messed up. So I'm going to create a new project. Should have this button here. My UI is stuck. Okay. So a new project. And I'm going to ask for creating a landing page for this app. Okay. This is the PRD. Maybe we can even come back to the description on itself. So where we had that. So I'm going to copy the whole description that we had. Imagine that you did something like that on your own. Maybe something even more reduced. So Ape Flip, a revolutionary coin flip game designed for ApeChain, and then here, and here, and here. I'm not going to get the game mechanics. Okay, I'm going to do something very short because we do have a context limit on V0. Okay, the same app that we used it as a showcase before, I'm going to use it again, and I'm going to use this word: create a landing page for this app. It needs to be landing page. It cannot be like home page or web page or something. It needs to be landing page so that the AI understands the kind of format that we're looking for. And then I'm going to paste the actually it made a annex here depending on the size of the text. I was trying to avoid that, but it just created an attachment with the text. It can work. Create a landing page for this app.
Can you go to V0? I think you're on a different screen.
Oh man, sorry about that. Okay. Thank you, Alec. So coming back on this subject, should be landing page, cannot be like web page, cannot be home page. Now need to be exactly that so that the AI understands. And I was trying to copy something small, but I guess this amount of text was enough for you to create an attachment, but that's okay. It created this attachment when I pasted text, and then I asked it, create a landing page for this app. This could be your PRD as well. This could be any kind of context about your app. And V0 will be able to search inside this document and bring the information as needed. This is just an example, though. Demonstration doesn't need to be perfect, but I would expect you to have some time to put the correct information there, explaining your app with the correct highlights and definitions. And if you ask that for V0, you can ask that for Replit, for Bolt, for whatever AI coding platform that you prefer. You would have a result similar to that. You cannot use like ChatGPT for this. You need to be an AI coding app like V0 similar, okay? And this should be similar to how we generate the game. This should be enough for V0 to generate that landing page for us and host it online. We're going to have 20 minutes to go over this. I'm going to show how at the end I'm going to have this link that I can use to share with people already. Okay. So the same flow that we did for generating the game before, now we're doing for generating the landing page. And look how the AI would read the text. It created an attachment, but that's not a big deal. It got the idea, created a compelling landing page for the Ape Flip. Okay, there's a big thought chain here. So highlighting a clear understanding of the product, a next generation coin flip game, blah, blah, blah. So it picked the idea that we had in this attachment that we copied there from Perplexity, copied a chunk of it, and then pasted here. It's kind of freestyle, okay, but I imagine that when you do that at home later, you would have time to properly pick the correct amount of information, paste it here, and then V0 would have enough context for coding these components, for coding the code itself that's going to be the landing page. Okay, it's probably going to create a hero section. It's probably going to create social proof. It's going to invent some numbers, token price, whatever. You're going to see that it's going to go wild in the copy itself of the page, but probably it's not going to include a call to action. Okay, the form itself, the link for subscription or waitlist itself, it's probably not going to be working. Okay, we're going to address that in a minute. So after the generation finishing, this is the web page. Let me increase this a little. So coin flip, the smartest coin flip in Web3. Start play now doesn't work. Watch demo doesn't work as expected. That is the hero section, social proof, some cards, seeing the features here, frequent asked questions, how a flip works. So you see, I didn't have to specify that for the AI. I would know how to create a landing page from scratch. Okay, what players are saying, crypto gamer, like this very much, high roller, the Gen Whale, mobile gamer. Okay, you see how the AI would fake this? Then you can come here and edit it later. And then you would have these two buttons, start playing and learn more, that are not working. Okay. This would complete the generation of the first version of the landing page. Okay. This is enough for you to share with people already. How to embed a call to action here? I would suggest doing something very simple. Google Forms or Typeform or whatever you want to use out there for generating data. So let me share this tab. Okay, this is Google Form, or you can use any similar one. Before integrating your database or lead base, whatever, start with a very simple form. And I have this plan with Google that I can even generate the form with AI. So like onboarding or like white list, or actually wait list, not white list, a wait list for my ape flip game, ask email address, wallet address, and favorite fruit, because I'm only going to select people that answer banana. This is going to be my form, email address, wallet address, and what is your favorite fruit. I'm going to create this form with AI. Ape flip game waitlist, email address. I already have the email here, so I can delete this one. Wallet address, favorite fruit, banana is here. That's good. Apple is here. Misleading. That's great. Let's keep banana as second option. That's going to be a good test. And then I'm going to publish this form. Okay. Let me manage it for anyone to be able to respond that. Oops. Oh, no, I clicked the wrong button. Anyone with the link should be able to answer this form. And let me publish it. Shorten, copy, and then we have a form. Why should spend hours doing my back and integration with database, Supabase, and all if you can just create a Google form? Simple like that. Okay. And then I come back to V0, and I just type this. I don't even need to integrate that in the code, in the button. Where is the button? Let me put the link there. I don't need to handle with anything like that. If you are a developer, you can. But here, I'm just going to do that. So when instead of start playing now, create, instead of start playing now, make the button, name it join waitlist and link to this form. And then I'm just going to paste the link for the form. The AI should be able to find the Start Playing Now button. It should be able to detect the correct link for the form, and it should be able to update the code of the page with the correct link. When someone clicks on it, it should update the page with the correct link for people to join the waitlist. Okay. Yeah, like the Google form, like let's keep it simple. We have too many complexities out there. Of course, making a good pipeline and now would be good, yes, but we need to choose our battles. We have too many things to care. Let's go simple with Google Forms. It's great. We're going to use Google Forms a lot in this bootcamp as well for like funneling ideas, and also so let's keep it simple. The waitlist for Google Form, that should be enough for us to validate the interest of our public. Okay, so if I click here, it opens this form for me. Okay. Now I want all of you to interact with this form. How to share this website? Just recap, this is step 1. We finished the step 0. We came up with the idea using Perplexity. Now we are validating the idea using a landing page to get X amount of users to interact with my CTA. I want to put that at the hand of people, and I need to somehow make this website accessible for other people. Okay, I could share this with V0. That would share my project itself for other people. That is possible. But I would recommend going further from that. Instead of sharing the V0 project itself, it's more like what I'm building, the process of building the vibe-coded app itself, in this case, the landing page. I would click on this publish button, which is very interesting because it's going to host my project. V0 is connected with Vercel, so it would be able to host my project.
Matheus, quickly, can you move the headshots because they're in the way?
Okay. Let me see. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Maybe put that on
Thank
the
you.
left, right? I wish StreamYard had some auto feature like that, an AI that could do this. Okay, so let me go back to guide. So we do have this share button that would share the V0 itself. You can share that with your group if you're working together in the app. But also, if you want to show the publication itself, actually the publication, the link itself for people to interact with your app, let's say you want to share that in the Telegram. That could be a good homework for today. Publish your landing page and then share that in the Telegram group. Okay, put it as public. We are going to customize the domain later. This is available for the free plan. Vercel has a very generous free account policy that you can use it for free before you're making revenue up to some amount of users. So you don't need to pay for hosting itself. You can use it for free so long you're not making money with your app for this moment. For example, joining a waitlist is good. According to the policies, I would suggest reading there with more care in the future before you deploy. But even before you waste time of banging your head against the wall with hosting, with actually hiring cloud servers in AWS, EC2 instances, and all of these kind of things, you can use Vercel for that. Okay, just by clicking this publish button, click on publish, you are going to have your website, v0 apeflipgamedesign.vercel.app. I can even customize this domain. For example, apeflip.vercel.app. Let me see, already registered. Okay, super apeflip. Okay, superapeflip.vercel.app is our deployed website. Let me send that for all of you in the chat. Okay. YouTube doesn't support comments on private videos. So, Alex, see if you can paste it there. Super. Let me send for you in the private chat here. For some reason, I can't. Maybe you can paste that on X. Let me see. Super ape flip .versal.app. You can even customize this domain later. And then if you click on join waitlist, it should open this form. Okay. So I suggest if you are watching this video and if you want to interact with it, fill up this form. I will know your response. Oh, there is someone. Okay, good. Banana, good. Yeah, sorry, I should have warned her that I would share this form before you filled. Sorry about that. But this is the idea. Now, anyone with, I know we are in 2 hours of streaming, but this last part took about 10 minutes or so. In 10 minutes, anyone can go from idea to start validating that with a wait list or with a similar call to action to see if you have enough interest, if you have enough domain. And the responses are coming. Okay, someone picked mango. Okay, we need to do something about that.
They're out of the bootcamp.
Apple. Okay. See, so this is live, people. It's not on local host stuff. We are creating a website, a published website that can convey your message, your idea, and you can test your call to action with people. Okay.
I would say that like before AI, even with seasoned programmers, this would be at least like 1-2 days, maybe something like that. Even the ones who actually like enjoy programming in React.
Yeah, this would definitely take a couple of days. This could be a whole hackathon project by itself if you're a beginner. And now it's done in 10 minutes. After we explained everything, it's done in 10 minutes. So where I'm trying to get with that, if on this week you can validate your idea, interact with your CTA, and have 10 people, 20, 50. Right now I have 9 responses in my form already. Thank you everyone for filling it. So if you can have this kind of feedback from people that they would use your product, that they would team up with you and all, this is very good for this week. What's coming after? Why are you doing all of that? So after you finish ideation this week, you should build a prototype. Project building guidelines. Next week, we're going to see how to build a minimally working prototype for showcasing your proposed solution. We use it to go through software development processes. That would be either waterfall, agile, that would be building your projects pieces per pieces. With AI, it's going to sound a little more crazy. You're going to have some back and forths, non-linear back and forths, and sometimes it might even work like that. You try to build a car, and then AI add more stuff on it, and then you try to take this stuff, and it takes some stuff out but adds another stuff, and then it adds a lot of more stuff that didn't ask for it, and then at the end you don't have the car itself. It's vibe code. Okay, these are next steps. We're going to go over that in the next phases. After you have your prototype that you can use to collect feedback from your ICP, your ideal customer persona, the people that are ready to buy a product or they have the pain that you are solving for, then you should invest time on your project. So ideation, validating, having a reason to build a prototype, and then building the prototype is a suggested flow. After that, you would actually build the MVP. That could be during or after this camp, probably when you have some source of funding or some revenue or maybe some grants, that you would build the project in a viable way. That would, it still needs to be minimum because you still need to Make sure that you have product market fit. People would buy for that. If you build too many features, you might be just delaying your release. It should be viable, sufficient enough for people to pay for it, for the early adopters to pay for it. It cannot be just a landing page. You need to solve something, at least a minimum amount of things. And should be a product, it cannot be a service. It should not require a direct human interaction or robot interaction, if you automate it, on every step. Okay, you could have humans in the loop, but at some point you would have something that is self-service, that people can touch and feel and interact with it by themselves. So it needs to be minimum, needs to be viable, and needs to be a product. Otherwise, you cannot scale. This cannot become like a business. Okay. So next chapters, getting some amount of users to pay for using your MVP. If you can do that within this bootcamp, that's great. But maybe just after this bootcamp, for you to discover if you have product market fit or not, if you should abandon your idea, or you should keep building on that, or you should pivot here or there. After you do all of that, then you iterate back and forth until you know that the customers are willing to pay, so they have sustainable way to do business. Vibe coding can speed it up from months to just a few days or weeks, if possible. And then, as a last step, you build your business. You skipped a lot of homework. You didn't do your legal check. You didn't buy a domain. You didn't register your IP. You did not do a canvas, business canvas. You did not study the competition deeply. You did not run the numbers. You don't have a deck. You skipped a lot of homework. Then you should do that. You should go there and actually, at this step 4, after you have PMF, you should consider making it a business. And when you are there, you made it. What are you going to vibe code today? Okay. This finishes session 1, introduction to vibe coding, why you should vibe code, what should be the ideation. And Alok, want you to share some alpha for next steps?
I don't want to overwhelm, because like 2 hours was quite plenty, but I wanted to go back over a few things about idea and validation. It's like Starbucks did not invent coffee, for example. But they are really popular coffee chain. The same way, if you go back to the history of McDonald's, they just served a cheeseburger at the time, right? Like, focus on one thing that sets yourself apart, and then you can reiterate. Don't think about too many features. You don't want to do too many things. Just like find that one uh, like pain point and build on that, and then you can always like iterate, go back, get more feedback. But again, like, the first thing is minimum viable. That's the key word here. Focus on that.
Great words. And we are going to have a session about ideation on Thursday, right?
Yeah, that's in 2 days.
So make sure to pay attention to the Luma page. We're going to be updating all of the videos, all of the dates here in the page. You're going to receive all of the emails. We're going to have another section on the 18th next week at the same time. Okay, we're going to have the same starting times, and we're going to be communicating to the blasts. Make sure to follow these sessions. Don't let it to do it all in the weekend or in the last week, because it's not going to work. It's going to snowball, guaranteed. There's a lot of things to go over, so make sure that you go one session per day, that you keep up the pace, that you open this doc, that you follow those steps, so that you are ready for the next session on project ideation. And then after the weekend, you are ready for the project building guidelines and all of that. Okay, good. We are all set. Well,
That
that's
was a
it.
great opening session. Thank you, Matheus. And as always, if you need to get in touch, our X are open. You can send us a DM. There's also the builders channel. So just like, feel free to tag me or anyone on the ApeChain team or Matheus himself if you have any questions. And good luck for going forward for your first landing page that actually goes live. That's actually a big step.
That's great. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.